Hello YouTube, it's Miles, and today is day 3 of me documenting my journey of taking my startup from a valuation of £0 all the way to a valuation of £1 million within a 2-year time frame with no investors and with no funding. Let's get right into it. So today we're talking about hiring. Now hiring is a bane in any business's arse. My team is 50% complete. I've managed to compile a team of highly skilled designers who are all up to date. They all know what my expectations are. They are all at a top level industry standard of operating. Now, when you're making your team, you want to be very, very meticulous. You want to be very, very picky. Imagine your team being your wife. You don't want to just marry anyone. They need to be near enough perfect, but we all know perfect isn't possible in today's age. So we want to get as close to perfect as possible. So the 3 things which I'll consider when hiring and what I look for is, first of all, do they align with my vision? Do we have common visions? Do we have aligned interest? And if everything comes into place, if all of the stones are stacked on top of each other, then they've passed the first test of having the right visions. The reason that they need to have a good vision as well is because, let's go right back to the wife example. Imagine you want to marry someone and you have a dream ideology of having a married partner that's always traveling with you. However, the person you're marrying has an ideology of staying at home and not traveling, staying in one place. There's a misalignment in interest, and when there's a misalignment in interest, you won't operate well together. You won't reach your end goal, your end destination, because we're working to achieve different outcomes. So that is why it's essential to have people that are bought into your vision and they're always aligned with what you want to achieve within your business. That is really essential moving forward. Like, I can't stress the importance of that enough. Secondly, general intelligence will be important because, and I wouldn't just say general intelligence, so what is their aptitude to improve? Like, how far can they really go? So generally, someone who isn't really skilled in the field that you're hiring for, but they have high intelligence and they're bought into your vision, they can actually achieve a lot within that field. Because if they have enough intelligence to actually learn something very quickly, and they're also very driven and aligned with what you want to achieve, then they can progress and make strides. So that's another thing to look out for, general intelligence. Third, the final thing that I'd look out for when hiring is, how do they blend into the culture and the team? So do they have a high work ethic? Can they actually be an asset? Anyone that you hire, they need to be profitable. So just bringing someone into your team needs to result in a positive outcome. And what do I mean by a positive outcome? Net profit. Surplus. The guala. Exactly that. So if someone isn't contributing to the team, if they're bringing the team down, then you just need to give them the boot. And it's that simple. Moreover, another key principle which a lot of people may overlook is hire slow and fire fast. If someone isn't meshing into your team well, if they're not molding into the culture, get rid of them very quickly. If you see red flags that are rising, get rid of them quickly. It's like a virus. You don't want to infect the rest of your team with someone that isn't positively influencing the culture. You need to protect your culture at all costs, and you need to make sure you're hiring the right people. So you need to hire slow. Okay, the reason protecting your culture is so important is because, say, the first 10 people that you hire will make up the culture, meaning the first 10 people, the way they work, the way they interact, the amount of effort that they put in will really just be like the baseline and the core of your company. For myself, I'm really meticulous. I'm really careful about who I choose to bring in because I know they will have either a positive or a negative effect on the direction and how my company is going to be formed. But essentially, as the leader and the head, you have the biggest impact. So again, the ball's always in your court when you're making your business. You are always the one in control. So let's talk a bit about my hiring process. Now, some tips on hiring. I've used multiple platforms. So I started off with LinkedIn. Where do I start with LinkedIn? Hiring on there, you can attract a lot of talent. That is a positive of LinkedIn. However, the quality of the talent that you attract on LinkedIn isn't up to par. It isn't up to standard. So what I found was I'd receive a lot of people applying, and you can actually set the filters on LinkedIn to adjust for what you'd want and make sure that the people applying are actually aligned and qualified for the role. What you find is a bunch of people lie. Like, you ask them, do you have 3 to 5 years experience? They're just going to put yes. They're just going to put yes, I have 5 years experience, just so they can actually make it through to the next stage. And that just gives more work for yourself when filtering through, which is why I don't really like LinkedIn. I've yet to find an actual fully qualified candidate through LinkedIn in terms of the quality of work they can produce, which is another downside. However, if you just want to go for volume rather than quality, then feel free to use LinkedIn. Moreover, you can have one free job posting, and then the second job posting you have to pay for, which is a bit iffy. And if you're looking to source talent globally rather than just in one region, LinkedIn probably isn't the place to go for, since it's restricted to just one region of recruiting, which isn't convenient if you want to be a global company and build a remote team, which is what I'm doing essentially. So I say remote teams are good because they allow you to be versatile, they allow you to work in different time frames, they allow for people with more tight budgets to actually build up teams. And I generally think the future of startups is going to be remote teams and remote workers, rather than just being a tight-knit team that's based in Silicon Valley. You can now be a global team. And this is what I'm saying, when 2024 is the time of opportunity. Like 20 years ago, this wouldn't have been possible. It wasn't possible to hop on a webcam and talk to someone 12 hours away from you and really just converse about a project which you're working on. And now this has really allowed like startups to grow. And as a founder as well, your access to talent is bigger than ever. The talent pool is immense. You can quite literally have someone from China, Vietnam, Philippines, Brazil, anywhere in the world, you name it, you can bring them onto your team. As long as they have a computer, a PC, and a web camera and access to Wi-Fi, you're set to work with someone. And that is one of the biggest opportunities in 2024 that I personally believe you should utilize and take advantage of. So really, there's no excuses. Of all of the recruitment platforms that I tested, so what I did was use recruitment platforms which were made for individual countries. So if I wanted to recruit from Algeria, for instance, I'll go onto Google, I'll find the top recruitment platforms for that country, in this instance Algeria, and I'd post job postings for specifically that country. And what you find is the job postings, those job boards aren't that good. So yeah, and usually they make you pay as well, just some silly fee. And they'd also spam you with messages or WhatsApp messages. They'll be calling you, trying to upsell you on offers, which is annoying. So I tend to stay away from country-specific job boards, and my go-to has been Wellfound. So one platform that I have been finding success with is wellfound.com, which was formerly AngelList. So you get less applicants, however, you do find that they actually have a higher quality. However, Wellfound, they've annoyed me as well. They banned me. Let me touch onto that as well. So I got banned on Wellfound. So you guys know me. I want to attract the best talent I can, and that is difficult. So when you're a startup and you've got no real like track record, you don't have a lot of history, you're not really gonna attract top talent. It's going to be really difficult to attract top talent. So what you have to do, you have to really vet the people that are applying. You really have to filter them through and really pick out the top talent yourself. That's just the challenge of being a startup, finding top talent. And because my processes were so hard, especially for the developers, I'd made them do an extremely challenging project in order to see who can really like handle a tough workload, who's really going to stand out and rise to the plate. And I need someone like that to join my force and join my team. And because of that, my account got reported a bunch of times from unhappy people, and I ended up being banned. I'm probably going to put it right here so you can just see, like, yeah. But I'm a go-getter. You can't stop someone like me. What did I do? Between you and me, I hope Wellfound isn't watching. I grabbed that VPN and I started a new account and I started recruiting all over again. So yeah, if you do get banned on Wellfound from doing something like I did, like my advice to you is just don't be too harsh with your recruitment stages. Don't be too harsh in the interview stages, like, and don't be too harsh when you're testing people and vetting them. Okay, because people get unhappy and they will report you, and it is a big L, and you do need to work around it. And you don't want to be like me using a VPN just to recruit people on Wellfound. So another good way and another good strategy that I found was actually finding communities where you can find your ideal type of worker. So once you let me just take a quick water break. So once you can identify a community where the person you want to hire will be, you then go into that community and search for people that are actually looking for jobs. And because you're the one searching now, you can pick out people who have the quality of work that you want. For instance, if I wanted to find a copywriter in my business, I'd hop on ChatGPT, I'd hop on Google, and I'd search the popular copywriting platforms, the popular copywriting communities. For instance, you could just go on Fiverr and you go through the top rated Fiverr copywriters. And what you can do is reach out to them individually and show them your vision, show them what you're trying to do. And if anyone likes it, they will join you. They already have a portfolio which is being shown to you, so you can already decide if they're actually up to standard or not, which can completely eliminate the process of you having to test and vet them, which I think is perfect. Now, you should definitely be vetting people if you're unfamiliar with their work and unfamiliar with their portfolio. So that's just one to remember. That is just one to remember. So, and that brings me on to another important aspect of being a founder and a businessman is if there's no salesman in the room and you have no sales force, then you are the salesman. In life, you're constantly selling yourself. And when you're reaching out to people and you're trying to pitch them your business and make them join your team, this is when you become the ultimate salesman. You really need to sell them on your vision. And this is why it's so important to have absolute clarity of what you're trying to achieve and an absolute understanding of what you're trying to accomplish. The best founders are usually the best salesmen who can paint a picture with absolute pinpoint accuracy of what they're trying to do, why you're going to be essential in their team, and what they will achieve with you. And they can usually do this in, say, 20 to 50 words. So with immense accuracy, the best founders can do that. So everyone needs to be an amazing salesman. As a founder, as a businessman, the first thing you're going to be doing is selling, whether it be to investors, selling the idea to investors, selling your products as service to clients, selling the idea to potential people who will work with you and join your team, selling your message through marketing. Like, just remember, everything is selling, and that is the backbone. That's the backbone of it, lads. So yeah, as I was saying, communities are a great way to find people with talent and potential and like skip a lot of obstacles. It's just much more tedious going through a bunch of different people within that community and finding someone that can actually match your expectations and finding someone that actually aligns with the previous three things I said, being the vision, the culture, and genuine intelligence. But if you can find someone that matches those three things, then you're flying. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. That rhymed. So yeah, as it stands, my team, I'd say it's about 50% complete. The core of the team, we are working on big projects upcoming, and we are going to change the game. That's it from me. I'm gonna head out to gym. It's 11 a.m. So a lot of work needs to get done. I've been in meetings this morning, done some marketing, and the marathon continues. Just remember that one too. It's never a sprint. You do want to be working as fast as possible, but you don't need to rush yourself. There's all the time in the world. There's no pressure on you at all. There's no pressure. Just make sure you're running with the end in mind. It's a marathon, people. You don't want to gas out, but you don't want to be doing too much at one stage just because you think time is limited. Like, how can I put this? You want to work fast, but there is enough time in the world. Just remember, pace yourself. Pace yourselves. If you want to partner with me, so if you have any agencies that offer similar services to me, like marketing, SEO, anything along those lines, drop me a message. And finally, if you're a startup as well and you're interested in getting a website, or you need to really start pushing your brand, your image, and you want to put it onto the internet, the biggest platform on the world, then you know what to do. You can get at me at eve.works and we'll help you create a website that is scalable, functional, and most importantly has impeccable design and stands out from your competition. So at this point, you have no competition. You know what to do. Get at me. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any tips, if you want to share anything, or if you have any comments, just drop that down below. That's me, I'm out. Catch me in the gym.